Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to ASTC. So today we will be starting with the final lecture of chapter number 20. So this is lecture 20.8 Composite Functions. So for composite functions, what we basically mean by the phrase composite function is that this is a function inside another function. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let me first quickly go through some of the concepts that we have covered in the previous videos. So let's take an example that we have f of x equals x plus 2. If I ask you to find out f of 2, so instead of x, you're going to plug in the value 2, right? So therefore f of 2 will be 2 plus 2, that will be equal to 4. Similarly, if I ask you to find g of 5, that would be you will plug in the value of 5 into this function. So you're going to say that g of 5 is 5 plus 3, which is equal to 8. So instead of this x, I have plugged in the value 5. Similarly, if I ask you to find out what is g of 3x, okay, so instead of x, you're going to write down 3x plus 3. So what are we doing? We are just substituting the variables or the constants into my function. Very similar to this is that what if I can substitute an entire function instead of x? And that is what we will be studying today. All right. So if I ask you to find out what find f of g of x, so how do we pronounce this? F of g of x. Now instead of f of x, now what do we have? We actually have f of g of x. So that means apply g of x, okay, into this function. So substitute this entire thing in place of x of your f of x. Okay, so this is what we mean by this. So like just like how we do f of 3, so I'm going to substitute this 3 in instead of this. Okay, so let's say if I say f of 3, so I'm going to write down 3 plus 2. If I say write f of 5x, what I'm going to do is instead of this x, I'm going to write down f of 5x equals 5x plus 2. If I now tell you to do this, find out f of g of x. So you will be substituting x plus 3 instead of this x. So we have x plus 3 over here and then plus 2. That will give us x plus 5. Okay. Now here what we do is first we will write the function. Okay. If the sequence of function is like this, right? But how do we apply it? We move in the opposite direction. Okay. So let's take a look. F of g of x means substitute the function g of x into the function f of x. This is what we mean by function inside another function. Okay, so here we have g of x in our red color. Okay, and my original function was this, right? So instead of this x, now I'm plugging in the whole of g of x function. So now I'm gonna get x plus 5. All right. Now number two is g of f of x. Now because the sequence has been changed, now this means that originally this was g of x, now it is g of f of x. Although we do not make this bracket, so we can just write down g of f of x. This basically means that substitute this f of x into the x of this function. Okay, so anyhow for this particular case you're going to get the same answer, but you don't actually get the same answer in all the cases. Okay, so you usually get different answers. Then example 2 is f of x equals 2x minus 1, g of x equals x minus 2. Find f of g of x. That's the first question. So I have to substitute x minus 2 into the x of this function. Okay, only the x. So this is how it's going to be applied. Instead of this x, I have plugged in this entire expression. So I get 2 times x minus 2 minus 1, and then you open up the bracket. So we get 2x minus 4 minus 1. That will be 2x minus 5. Okay. The next one is to find g of f of x. So here we have to substitute f of x, which is this entire expression, into the x of this function. So this would be 2x minus 1 minus 2. That makes it 2x minus 3. Now, just like how we can substitute different functions, okay, we can also substitute the same function within a function. So just like I can also find out f of x. So that means you have to substitute this 2x minus 1 into the x of this function. Okay, so this is how we're going to apply that. Originally, this is 2x minus 1. So now instead of this x, I'm substituting the whole expression 2x minus 1 instead of this. So now we're going to expand it. So this becomes 4x minus 2 minus 1. That would be 4x minus 3. Similarly, we can also have g of x. So this g of x, where is it? Yeah, x minus 2 will be substituted into just the position of x. So you have x minus 2 and then minus 2. So that would be x minus 4. All right. Example 3 is evaluate f of g of 3. Okay. Now there are two things that are occurring over here. You no longer have g of x, but instead you have g of 3. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to find out what is g of 3, because look, as I mentioned, you start writing from left side, but you start applying from right side. Okay, I'll repeat it. You start writing from left side, but you start applying from right side. So first of all, I'm going to apply what is g of 3. So that means I'm going to substitute the value of 3 instead of x. Okay, so here we have two steps, right? Substitute 3 in g of x. Whatever the answer I'm going to get, I'm going to substitute the answer into the x of f of x. All right, because the second function that I have to apply is f. So we will see that. Step 1 is you apply 3 into it, so you get 6. Now I'm going to take this value of 6 and plug it into my x of f of x. Okay, so this would be f g of 3 equals 2 times 6 plus 3. So that would be 12 plus 3 equals to 15. Then the question, no, sorry, the part 2 of this question is solve the equation g of f of x plus f g of 3 equals to 34. Now this we have already worked out to be 15, right? Now we need to find an expression for this. All right, so we have to substitute f of x, which is 2x plus 3, into the function g of x. So this will be substituted into the x of this function. Okay, so that would be my g of f of x. So g of f of x equals 2 times 2x plus 3. That gives us 4x plus 6. This should be 6 over here. All right, now the next one is, now you have to rewrite, okay, what we have found out. So instead of g of f of x, I'm going to write down 4x plus 6. Okay, all right, so I think now everything needs to be changed. So this becomes 6, and 6 plus 15, this becomes 21. Okay, so let's see, 31 minus 21. So here, sorry, 34 minus 21, and then that would be 13, right? So therefore, let me check if I'm getting. All right, I think there was a problem with the mic. Anyhow, so x is equal to 13 upon 4. So if I work this out, 13 divided by 4, that gives us 3.25. So that would be the value of x. Okay, so now remember, whenever the question tells you to solve always means to find the variable. In this case, it will be x. If let's say I have a question in terms of y, then that would mean find the value of y. So always remember, whenever the question tells you the word solve, so it always means to find the value of x. Okay, now let's take a look at example number 4. F of x is equal to 5x plus 2. Then we have h of x equals to 2 to the power of x. So now you should know that there could be different types of functions which can appear in this in this question. Okay, you can have a linear function, you can have an exponential function, you can also have quadratic function as well. Okay, so now we need to find out what is h of f of x. So here I have to substitute h of x, sorry, substitute f of x, which is this, into the x of this function. Okay, so this is my answer for this question. All right, now here we need to find the f inverse of x. Okay, so how did we find inverse? We use the 4-step process. Step number 1 is we replace f of x with y. Okay, so we have y equals 5x plus 2. Then we swap x and y. Okay, so this y becomes x, this x becomes y. Then we make y the subject of our formula, so we have x minus 2 equals 5y. Then we divide both sides by 5, so we get y equals x minus 2 upon 5. Final step would be to now substitute or replace this y with f inverse of x, and that's our answer to part 2. Okay, now in part 3, it says to find f of f inverse of x. Now look over here, what do we have to do? We have to plug in the inverse function into my original function. Okay, I have to plug in the inverse function into my original function. So let's see. Now over here we have this in red. So 5 times x minus 2 upon 2. This 5 cancels with this 5. So you now have x minus 2 plus 2. This minus 2 cancels with plus 2. So you will be left with x. So what happened over here? When you plug in an inverse function into the original function, okay, this is similar to saying that, okay, I'm going to multiply my x with 2 and then I'm going to divide by 2, because when you're applying an inverse function and then you're applying the original function, so these are the opposite functions of each other, right? So this is kind of saying that, okay, I have 4x, now I'm going to add 2 and then I'm going to subtract 2, so obviously they're going to cancel each other out, isn't it? So in these type of situations, okay, this leads us to an important result, that f of f inverse of x is equal to x. Whatever you have in this bracket, that is going to be your final answer. Okay, this is something that you have to recall. All right, this is something you have to remember. So let's do another example. So what if this time I have f of f inverse of 3? So instead of x, now I have 3. So now we have two steps. First, I'm going to find out what is the inverse function of 3. Okay, so like whenever I apply 3 into the inverse function, whatever result I'm going to get, if I put that back into my original function, then I'm going to get the final answer. But I don't have to actually do all of that, because when you are applying an inverse function followed by the original function, you would still end up you will still end up with the same value that you plugged in the first place. Okay, so let me show this to you again. Look at this. If you have a function, okay, and then after that you have an inverse function written uh, beside it, so what happens? Your answer is going to be whatever is in the bracket. So therefore, if I have f of f inverse of 4x, my answer is going to be 4x. If I have f of f inverse of 1 upon 2, my answer will be 1 upon 2, and so on. Okay, similarly, if I have f of f inverse of 3, my answer will be 3, and I don't even have to show it. I can directly write this down, because this is the result that we have to recall. All right. Okay, So that is the end of our lecture. In the next video, we will be working through some of the past paper questions. So I'll see you in the next video.